Hi, and thanks for joining me on another Bitcoin TA video. This video will have 4 parts. We'll go over Bitcoin TA, we're going to go over Bitcoin dominance, what's going on with the altcoins, and we'll finish up with a little look at the world markets and what we can do for trading those as well. Stay tuned for all 4 parts, and if you want to skip ahead to one, check out the chapters down in the description down below. I'm always grateful to have you along my journey of Bitcoin TA. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and the notification icon so that you get notifications when the next video is coming out. Today we're going to finish off a conversation that I started off 3 weeks ago when we were talking about this 1, 2, 3 formation and the target of $78,000. Well, let's tune in to see where that one's turned out. Before we dig into the indicators, I'll post a link up in the top corner here for the video where I was talking about this 1, 2, 3 formation as it was setting up, and talking about the whole trade plan. And so let's see what's going on from here now. Back in the video a while ago, I've been watching for this trend to break for a while in the relative strength index and in the MACD. We had a couple points where it was looking really good, but it pulled back. Then of course we've had the breakout and it's turned out to be fantastic. However, with the relative strength index and the MACD up at these levels here on the 12-hour time frame and on the 4-hour time frame, now I'm watching for this as a trend pattern that the trend may break and pull back. If nothing else, I'm expecting that we'll get some sideways action as the relative strength index and the MACD pull back on the 4-hour time frame. It's important to distinguish what happens on the 4-hour time frame versus the 12-hour time frame, especially when we go into the MACD indicator. So here on the 4-hour time frame, we can see much the same major pattern that I was watching for on the relative strength index, and the same counter pattern now that's setting up as the prices are breaking out here. So we've got our breakout out of that 1, 2, 3 pattern. Now we've got, it's not a 1, 2, 3 pattern yet, but I am expecting that again here we're going to see some sideways action, some consolidation, while the 4-hour will consolidate and pull itself back. The most important thing is that the 12-hour must remain with these parallel channel arms open this way. When that one is topping out, we know that we're going to be at the end of our run up, and we could be topping out soon. We're just watching to see now how high up does this go before the crossover occurs. So then our job now is to pay attention to what's going on with the 4-hour and how deep does this 4-hour go when it pulls back and crosses. As we have potential for a 1, 2, 3 top formation to set itself up here, I also want to be aware of that as we come up to a double top position here perhaps. And we see that the MACD is in a serious divergence, we could be paying attention to the potential for a top formation as that's setting up too. So we'll be really watching the 4-hour and the 12-hour MACD and the relative strength index, along with the playing out of the 1, 2, 3 top formation here to see, is it going to be breaking higher and continuing up, or is it going to consolidate and pull back from here? My view, of course, in the long term is that we're going to get a much bigger move to the upside because everything is bullish on the long terms. We have bullish weekly, we have bullish daily, we have bullish 12-hour, the 4 hours doing its oscillation as it should in an uptrend. Now it's just a matter of seeing how deep and long sideways do we go from where we are right now. Here in section 2 of the video, we have the 4-hour Bitcoin dominance chart. It was going up out of this 1, 2, 3 pattern and it broke out very much higher, but it's really retraced back quite deeply. I was surprised to see how much this has come back. And as this has come back, a lot of the alts have been breaking out. So there's been a great wave of alts. If we just look at the A to E's here, we can see that there's a lot of coins that are up 4%, 7%, 10%, 3%, 23%, 6%, and if we look at any one of these coins, it's nice to see that it's come up a little bit, but we don't have a 1, 2, 3 formation set up yet. We don't have the 4-hour EMAs coming near ready to cross over. So while we've had this little bump here and it looks exciting by looking at the 1-day chart, we've got to keep perspective of where this stands compared to the chart pattern. When I look at the short-term Bitcoin dominance versus Bitcoin prices, it feels to me like there's an increasing panic of selling of the altcoins as Bitcoin prices are rising. As Bitcoin's taking off, people are panic selling their alts. There's like a capitulation of people getting out of their alts. And then that selling pressure has stopped a little bit. And so as Bitcoin is taking off and dominance may be rising, we could see a lot more of that. I did a video a few weeks ago on Bitcoin dominance, and this video gives a better look at the long-term perspective of what might be going on with Bitcoin dominance and what might happen with altcoins. The great thing is that that video is a few weeks old now, and it's telling the story of exactly what we're seeing play out. Go and review that video because it's really important to get prepared for when Bitcoin dominance does top and we're getting ready to choose the alts that we're going to be getting back into. It's going to be really key that we're doing our preparation and our homework right now before the race starts. And this is why the Crypto SmartWatch control panel is so amazing. This gives us the perspective of where things are according to the trend, rather than trying to jump in and out based on the patterns for day trades or short-term swings. We're really looking to position ourselves for the trend in a much easier, slower, more relaxed way that just catches all the big moves and pulls us back out. So it doesn't look like it's time for us to get back in a big way yet. We'll see that when the alerts really start to pick up, we get a whole bunch of new alerts, a bunch of alerts standing there. We get a bunch of coins going into new hold status. And as that's expanding, we'll see that trend start and we'll know that the bull market is on its way. For now, most coins are in neutral stance. We even have a bunch of coins that are in near fail. That means they're at nearly historical lows and they're going down in a downtrend. Not just pulling back, not just topping out, but actually turning around and going past old lows into new lows and turning down into a downtrend. And so it's really important to take a minute to get that larger perspective of what's going on with Bitcoin dominance as we have that little pullback that we did. So we're going to be watching it to see if this is the potential for a 1, 2, 3 formation here, that Bitcoin dominance would be continuing down from here. We'll be watching for it, but I am expecting, because of what we're doing for watching the MACD, when we see the daily MACD has made a very strong bullish divergence here. The daily MACD is crossed strongly positive. The weekly MACD is crossing positive and flaring wider out of this double bottom formation. That's very bullish. That means for this chart, it means that the dominance really looks like it's going to be going up quite a bit from this momentum we've got set up here. That means that alts are going to be crushed back quite a bit if that's what actually plays out. And I want to be aware of that as we're watching through this now, that the 12-hour MACD is going to give us the same information on the Bitcoin dominance as it does on Bitcoin itself. That when this tops out and this crosses over negative, that'll be the top of Bitcoin dominance going stronger. And that'll be the time to get into the altcoins again, or to be prepared to try to get into the alts again. And that's going to be really key for us to watch for what's going on with this 12-hour MACD, and watch for these parallel lines to be going up. When it breaks and tops, that's going to be where we're looking for our Bitcoin dominance top formation, and we'll be sorting into our altcoins throughout this period as we're going along. Now I want to finish this video with section 3 with a little talk about the world markets. I trade the world markets using Bitcoin on simplefx.com. You can click on the referral link down below or this link up above for a video. It's always important to keep an eye on world markets, but more important, we can trade the world markets using our Bitcoin and Ethereum to trade the price change of the S&P 500, of oil, silver, and gold, and many other equities as well over on SimpleFX. Click on the link down in the description down below, intro-to-cryptos.ca/simplefx, for my information about this program. So I keep an eye on these, but I also trade them and try to grow my Bitcoin by trading these markets, just as I try to grow my Bitcoin by trading the altcoin markets. When we take a look at the S&P 500, we see that the MACD had a bearish divergence as prices were moving along here, but it also had a bearish divergence as prices were moving through this period as well. And when prices did break and come back, the MACD crossed at these levels and the trend continued, because it is a designed trend. It is not natural. So we can say that when this is crossing, we may have a breakout that's going to continue us on this trend again. But I like to take a look at what's going on with S&P 500 and put Bitcoin prices underneath it, so that we can see how the markets are running together sometimes. But the main thing is that as the prices are breaking out of old highs for the S&P 500, Bitcoin goes on a great tear. So as we're breaking above these levels with the S&P 500, I'm anticipating Bitcoin to go on yet another fantastic tear of government printed money turning into something solid and real as fast as people can do it. The other markets I like to take a look at are silver and gold, and we can see some of my old scribbles here are turning out to be pretty good so far, so long as we have this breakout in silver. It's also consolidating down to old historical levels. It's making a potential to break this downtrend line out of a new 1, 2, 3 bottom formation that, if all of those things do line up, it's going to be fantastic, especially since I can take a position on silver prices using Bitcoin, and I grow my Bitcoin as I trade silver prices correctly. I can also trade gold prices, and this is what I was expecting in gold a while ago, is this break of the trend line, consolidation, and then the breakout. Because of historical levels that we are at, this is looking really good for gold. And again, I trade this over on Simple FX using Bitcoin for collateral. I also have a position open in crude oil. I was watching natural gas. Here's natural gas first of all, and it seems to be going in like a parabolic move up. I looked at the weekly and I see that, oh yeah, it's got room to go way up higher than this. We've got far greater population in the world than we did back in 2007, 2005. We've got a lot greater usage going on. Oh yeah, if there's a global energy crisis, this is going to be going right through the moon. And so that's why I'm watching oil prices come to these old historical levels right now. And as they're breaking out above this, I think this is really, really bullish. When we get to the short time frames here on the 15-minute, we can see that Bitcoin in the last few days has really outperformed the S&P 500. It's also now made a bottom and popped up a little bit, but if Bitcoin is more sensitive to the money coming in and it's popping first, and the S&P is going to be breaking this downtrend line, then it's really looking like that slosh of money is coming in, and everything's going to be bullish like crazy. Again, when I look at silver prices compared to Bitcoin, Bitcoin really made quite a bit of more moves than silver has. Silver stayed kind of flat through this time frame, and same with gold, where Bitcoin's made much better gains over these last few days than gold has. So maybe gold, silver, and the S&P 500 are following Bitcoin. Maybe Bitcoin's still the more sensitive because it has the less market cap. So when there is money moving, Bitcoin shows it sooner than others. So again, I am super stoked to have you guys along. Thank you for joining me in my Bitcoin technical analysis journey. I'm trying to grow this channel, so you could help by giving it a thumbs up, by subscribing, and by leaving a comment down below and letting me know where in the world you come from. It may seem like a small thing, but it helps far more than you may realize. So thanks again for being along for this journey and for helping me grow this channel. I'll see you on the next video.